High Commission in terms of its public events. We have been locked down for, as you know, the longest time. And this is actually the first official event that we're having. So I just want to make note of that, that it's a very, very special day. My duty this morning is to read the message of Senator the Honorable Leslie Campbell, Minister of State in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. It reads as follows: fellow Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica, it is with immense pride that I greet you at this time of year when we celebrate two defining moments in the history of Jamaica: the 183rd anniversary of emancipation from slavery and our 59th anniversary of independence. We honor the legacy of our forebears who fought for the right to live in dignity and to be masters of our own destinies. We reflect on the significance of this date when, on the morning of August 1, 1838, over 300,000 people were granted full freedom from the dehumanizing horrors of slavery. That significant milestone is the life of our nation, laid the footsteps in the life of our nation, laid the footsteps for the path of independence. This year, we celebrate the birth of our nation under the theme, Jamaica 59, come make we celebrate online. I hope I got the rhyme properly. It is indicative of the times in which we live, given the ongoing impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. We Jamaicans, however, will not allow this virus to rob us of the opportunity to commemorate our nationhood, and I encourage you to do so responsibly in keeping with the COVID mitigation measures in your respective locations. Our administration is taking deliberate steps to position the country on a path to recovery stronger and better. We continue to forge ahead with our strategic objective of sustained, inclusive economic growth and job creation, and despite the pandemic, our economic indicators remain strong. We recognize, however, that we cannot do it alone and that a whole of society approach is required, which is inclusive of our brothers and sisters living in the diaspora. I am therefore confident that working together, we will rebound stronger from this pandemic. Your loyalty to our beloved country is unquestionable. I take this opportunity to commend you for your consistent support over the years through good times and bad times across many sectors, including education and health. I applaud your support for the One Device for Every Child campaign, spearheaded by the Ministry of Education, Youth, and Information. This has provided critical assistance to thousands of students as they pivot to online learning. Your efforts will enable our children to realize their potential, thereby securing for them a better future. I reaffirm that the government is committed to deepening its relationship with you. We appreciate the work already being done by the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council and the Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth Council to give support to the government's efforts. The recently concluded Jamaica Diaspora Sustainability Symposium, held in June 2021, symbolizes the dynamism of the relationship between the government and the diaspora. And will continue to work with these bodies as well as community organizations and individuals to ensure that the outcome of our joint actions redound to the benefit of Jamaica and Jamaicans. As we celebrate yet another milestone in the building of our nation, we can move forward with confidence, knowing that Jamaica and the diaspora working together will realize sustainable future for our beloved homeland, and that we will indeed be stronger together. May God continue to bless you and your families, and may God bless Jamaica, land we love.
Thank you, High Commissioner, for delivering our Honorable Minister's message, and please let us show recognition to our Honorable Minister for that message. On Jamaicans, of course, in the diaspora, High Commissioner and our Deputy High Commissioner and the staff of the High Commission, we also acknowledge the solid work that you do to support all Jamaicans in the diaspora here. Thank you so much. Councillor Adam Jogi, the Mayor of Haringey for the 2021 to 2022 municipal year, is the youngest mayor of Haringey in a generation. The mayor is the eldest of 3 children and was raised and educated in Haringey. His parents and siblings still live in Hornsey and play an active role in the community. Councillor Jogi was elected to Haringey Council in the local elections of 2014, winning his seat in the marginal ward of Hornsey. He was re-elected to serve the people of Hornsey at the local elections in 2018 with an increased majority on an increased turnout. Councillor Jogi is very proud of his Zimbabwean and Jamaican roots, as well as the fact that he is the first mayor of Haringey from the Muslim community. I wish also to acknowledge that Councillor Jogi has had a long-standing relationship with the Jamaican High Commission, in fact, from he was a student in high school. Please help me welcome the Mayor of Haringey.
Thank you, Mrs. Cooper. That was like an episode of This Is Your Life. Where's the Red Book? Thank you very much indeed. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Jamaicans, a politician was offered a platform and a stage, so I hope you'll indulge me for a few minutes to share some of my thoughts. I'm deeply honored to be with all of you today as we come together to mark the 59th anniversary of Jamaica's freedom, Jamaica's liberty, and Jamaica's independence. And for those of you who don't know, although Mrs. Cooper gave a pretty good introduction, my name's Adam Jogi and I'm the Mayor of Haringey, a part of North London that's home to Tottenham Hotspurs, to Alexandra Palace, and to a thriving, strong and vibrant Jamaican diaspora. And can I also say how wonderful it is to see real human beings. I was elected mayor in October, and for the first few months as mayor, many of my engagements were on Zoom and Teams. So it's wonderful to see real human beings with their hearts pumping in person. As we come together to mark Jamaica's 59th year of independence, I want to acknowledge those who went before us, to whom we give thanks for leaving their green, bountiful island in the West Indies for cold, dark and grey Britain. They brought hard work, talent, passion and commitment to these shores. Now, my own grandfather, a very proud Jamaican, so much so we still have his passport, came to this country on the 21st of February 1941. And like so many Jamaicans of his generation, and yes, from other parts of the Caribbean too, he helped rebuild a Britain ravaged by the worst excesses of war. They built homes, they worked in industry, they fueled the economy, and more than anything, they paid their way and were good citizens. And although my grandfather came here, his family, and particularly his 2 brothers, built successful lives for themselves and their families back home in Jamaica. My great uncle, Stafford Owen, a JLP stalwart, would have loved to see me standing here today. In fact, my aunt, who's with us today, this morning, and I were talking about him on the way here, but when he would often come to London, he would be asked to functions here. My aunt and my mother would come too, and he was always very clear that the child must stay home. So look at me now. And in so many different ways, from culture, the arts, education, politics, and of course, food and music, Jamaica has left an indelible mark on the United Kingdom and throughout the world. And over recent days, I've been looking at how Jamaicans in the UK will be celebrating, and from Bedford to Brixton, they will be marking this important day in Jamaica's history and its future with events, parties, and gatherings. Indeed, we will all know people who wish they were Jamaican, who want to be Jamaican, and who try to be Jamaican. And may I say, sir, with varying degrees of success. But put another way, we are very much the cool kid on campus, but we have the capacity to be the class president too. Now, the last year, as His Excellency noted, has been difficult for people across the world. And for all the talk of building back better, we need to build back fairer. And I think it's incumbent on political leaders like me and those in far more senior positions to lead with the best interests of all our people at the forefront of our minds. Now, Your Excellency, it's a tremendous honor for me to serve as mayor and to wear this chain and to serve 2 consecutive terms as mayor. Not bad for a 29-year-old black man from North London. But it does show that wherever Jamaicans go, they and their descendants thrive, achieve, and succeed. And as Mrs. Cooper noted, we are seeing no greater evidence of this than in Tokyo right now. And how proud are all of you to see the black, green, and gold shine so brightly. Unlike other young people in the diaspora, I've been fortunate to spend time in Jamaica, and thanks to my parents and my wider family, and as I said, my aunt's here, I feel very much a product of and connected to our green island in the West Indies. I should say, Your Excellency, and my aunt will probably tell my mother, which means I'll be thrown out the family, and she'll kill me for sharing this story, but in typical Jamaican, but in typical Jamaican style and with a keen determination to maintain standards, my mother couldn't join us because she couldn't get a hairdresser appointment in time. Which is so true. A wonderful example of the highest of Jamaican standards. Now, those standards are clear, they're coherent, and they speak to the values of a small island, free and independent, that punches above its weight. That's what makes me so proud of my Jamaican blood. A passion to get things done, a fearless commitment to doing what is right, and an unfailing ambition to succeed. That's the Jamaica of 2021. And as we learn the lessons of the first 59 years of independence, and as we look to the next 59 years of freedom, I look forward to fighting alongside every single one of you in the universal aim of moving Jamaica forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Worship, for those words of inspiration. At this time, we are going to move to the presentation of the National Awards. The Order of Distinction. The honor of the order may be conferred upon any citizen of Jamaica who renders outstanding and important services to Jamaica, and upon any distinguished citizen of a country other than Jamaica, an honorary member. The motto of the order is distinction through service. The order has 2 ranks, officer rank and commander rank. Badge of honor. The badge of honor may be awarded to civilian residents of Jamaica and to foreign nationals who are employed in Jamaica's diplomatic and consular missions overseas in the following 3 categories. Gallantry, awarded to persons who have performed acts of gallantry or acts of heroism, or who have shown great courage in circumstances of extreme danger. Meritorious service, awarded to persons who have rendered loyal and meritorious service beneficial to Jamaica. Long and faithful service, awarded to persons who have rendered long and valuable service worthy of special recognition. I now invite to present the Order of Distinction, Commander rank, to Professor Sir Godfrey Oliver Palmer. I invite Ms. Anne-Marie Pinckney.
Professor Sir Godfrey Oliver Palmer. Sir Jeff is an internationally renowned scientist and human rights activist. He made history in 1989 when he became Scotland's first Black professor. Sir Jeff completed his PhD in grain science and technology in 1967. He went on to a successful research career with Brewing Industry Research Foundation in Surrey. In 2018, he was appointed as Jamaica's first honorary consul in Scotland, and in October 2021, he will assume his new role as Chancellor of Heriot-Watt University. Sir Jeff has been a leading campaigner for recognition of Black history. Last year, Edinburgh Council named Sir Jeff as the independent chair to lead the city's slavery and colonialism legacy review group. By virtue of Regulation 15 of the National Honors and Awards Order of Distinction, Regulations 1970, the honor of the Order of Distinction may be conferred upon any citizen of Jamaica who renders outstanding and important services to Jamaica. And whereas by virtue of Regulation 15 of aforesaid, the honor of the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander was conferred upon you on the 6th day of August, 2020. Now, wherefore, this interment witnesses the honor of the Order of Distinction was conferred upon you as aforesaid, and that as a member of the said order, you are entitled to hold and enjoy the dignity of such conferment and all privileges thereto appertaining. For exceptional representation and service to the Jamaican diaspora in Scotland, Professor Sir Godfrey Oliver Palmer is awarded the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander CD.
I now invite Mrs. Claudette Barrett Francis to present the award to Mr. Wade Cleon Lynn, the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander.
So Deputy High Commissioner.
Good morning. Mr. Wade Lynn. Thank you. Mr. Wade Lynn. Mr. Lynn is a stalwart of the Jamaican diaspora and a well-respected, enterprising company owner. His company, Cleon Foods, is the United Kingdom's largest producer of Jamaican patties. Mr. Lynn is well known for its commitment of many community causes, particularly those that support young people, students, and struggling entrepreneurs. Mr. Lynn was named Jamaica's honorary consul to Birmingham in 2013 and has served the diaspora with great distinction. He was appointed a deputy lieutenant by the West Midlands Lieutenancy earlier this year and became a commander of the British Empire CBE in 2013. By virtue of Regulation 15 of the National Honors and Awards Order of Distinction Regulations of 1970, the honor of Order of Distinction may be conferred upon any citizen of Jamaica who renders outstanding and important service to Jamaica. And whereas, by virtue of Regulation 15 aforesaid, the honor of the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander was conferred upon you on the 6th day of August 2020. Now, therefore, this instrument witnesses that the honor of the Order of Distinction was conferred upon you as aforesaid, and that as a member of the said order, you are entitled to hold and enjoy the dignity of such conferment and all privileges thereto appertaining. For exceptional services and contribution to the Jamaican diaspora in the United Kingdom, Mr. Wade Cleon Lynn is awarded the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander.
The citation was read by our Deputy High Commissioner, Mrs. Patrice Laird Grant. The next award is to Mr. George Mighty, MBE, JP, the Order of Distinction in the officer rank, and the citation will be read by Miss Anne-Marie Pinkman.
George Mighty. Mr. Mighty is the chairman of the Derby West Indian Community Association, and he has been a selfless advocate on behalf of Derby's Black community for well over 3 decades. Mr. Mighty was born in St. Anne's, Jamaica in 1936, one of 13 siblings, which helped him to develop his strong sense of community. In 1961, he joined thousands of other West Indians on the journey from the Caribbean to England as a member of the post-war Windrush generation. In 1990, he received a Member of the British Empire honor for his services to the community of Derby. By virtue of Regulation 50 of the National Honors and Awards Order of Distinction Regulations 1970, the honor of the Order of Distinction may be conferred upon any citizen of Jamaica who renders outstanding and important services to Jamaica. And whereas by virtue of Regulation 15 aforesaid, the honor of the Order of Distinction in the rank of officer was conferred upon you on the 6th day of August 2020. Now, therefore, this instrument witnesses that the honor of the Order of Distinction was conferred upon you, as aforesaid, and that as a member of the said order, you are entitled to hold and enjoy the dignity of such conferment and all privileges thereto appertaining. For outstanding services to the Jamaican diaspora, England, Mr. George Mighty is awarded the Order of Distinction in the rank of Officer OD.
Our next award will be presented to Mr. David Michael Rodigan, who is awarded the Order of Distinction in the officer rank. And I invite Mrs. Claudette Barrett Francis to read the citation.
David Michael Rodigan. Mr. Rodigan is a British radio DJ who also performs as a disc jockey. He is known for his promotion of reggae and dancehall music worldwide. He has played on stations including Radio London, Capital 95.8, Kiss 100, BBC Radio 1 Extra, BBC Radio 2, and BFB. He has stated that his love for Jamaican music developed and grew as a schoolboy after he watched the late Millie Small perform her iconic 1964 hit, My Boy Lollipop, on the Ready, Steady, Go TV show. That experience led to a 35-year passion for Jamaican music, during which time he has developed an almost encyclopedic knowledge of the artists, songs, and rhythms of reggae. Mr. Rodigan was appointed a member of the Order of the British Empire, MBE, in the 2012 New Year Honors for Services to Broadcasting. By virtue of Regulation 16 of the National Honors and Awards, Order of Distinction Regulations, 1970, the honor of the Order of Distinction may be conferred upon any distinguished citizen of a country other than Jamaica. And whereas, by virtue of Regulation 16 aforesaid, the honor of the Order of Distinction in the rank of Order of Officer was conferred upon you on the 6th day of August, 2020. Now, therefore, this instrument witnesses that the honor of the Order of Distinction was conferred upon you as aforesaid, and that, as an honor member of the said order, you are entitled to hold and enjoy the dignity of such conferment and all privileges thereto appertaining. For his outstanding service to the promotion of Jamaican music across the world, Mr. David Michael Rodigan is awarded an Order of Distinction in the rank of Officer.
The next The next award will be presented to Mr. Anthony Patrick Richards, the Badge of Honor for Meritorious Service. And I invite Ms. Anne-Marie Pinckney to read the citation.
Anthony Patrick Chips Richards. Described as an international ambassador for the Jamaican music industry, Mr. Richards is one of the pioneers promoting, spearheading, and disseminating Jamaican music across the globe. Mr. Richards overcame great odds and helped to widen mainstream acceptance of reggae. His promotions to diverse countries, including Japan and Nigeria, paved the way for many other promoters and singers who followed. A Kingstonian, Mr. Richards said his earliest inspiration came as a 12-year-old while hanging out at venues such as Duke Reid's Treasure Isle Studio. He moved to England as a teenager and started in music promotions and record production in 1971. Certificate of Award, the Badge of Honor for Meritorious Service, instituted by the National Honors and Awards, Badge of Honor, Regulations 1970, is hereby awarded to Mr. Anthony Patrick Chips Richards, with effect from the 6th day of August, 2020, given under my hand at King's House this 19th day of October 2020. For meritorious service to the Jamaican music locally and internationally, Mr. Anthony Patrick Chips Richards is awarded the Badge of Honor for Meritorious Service, BHM.
I do have the opportunity of shaking your hand. Good.
Congratulations to all the awardees. And I'm sure you agree with me, ladies and gentlemen, that these awards confirm the recognition of the Jamaicans in the diaspora by the government of Jamaica. At this point, we're going to be entertained again by the Coromantee Mentor Band, which is led by Dr. H. Patton and includes members Charles James and Nicky Reed. It was formed more than 15 years ago. The group specializes in traditional Jamaican music forms and has performed across the United Kingdom and many, many times here at the High Commission. Please welcome again the Coromandel Band.
Okay, so this time we're going to give you some of the mentor songs that I know many of you may know. Many of you might have heard them, whether sung traditionally or through the reggae version. So if you're enjoying and you want to join in, feel free. We're starting with the greeting song. Long time I never see you, but make me hold your hand. It's a long time I never see you, but make me hold your hand. See that I'm running up a beat up because you lock us. Let me hold your hand, girl. Let me hold your hand. Long time I never see you, but make me walk and talk. It's a long time I never see you, but make me walk and talk. See that I'm running up a beat up because you lock us. Let me walk and talk, girl. Let me walk and talk. Long time I never see you, but make me real and done. It's a long time I never see you, but make me real and done. See that I'm running up a beat up because you lock us. Make me real and done, girl. Make me real and done. Make me real and done, girl. Make me real and done. We have got many times down now. Make me real and done, day we don't make me hold your hand, girl. Make me real and done, day we don't let me hold your hand, girl. Make me real and done, day we don't let me hold your hand, girl. Make me real and done, day we don't let me hold your hand, girl. Because Solomon come back on every door, let me my one pretty out the door. And the business must be yours. Let me tell you, nobody business, nobody, business must be yours. Nobody, business must be yours. bend down, bend it down, we bend down, and then we bend down, bend it down, we bend down, and then we bend down, bend down, we
Well, entertaining. I don't know if you saw me shaking a foot over there. And now we go to the presentation of the Governor General's Diaspora Achievement Awards. The Governor General's Jamaica Diaspora Award for Excellence was created in 2008. It is a part of the Governor General's Achievement Awards program, which has been in existence since 1991. The award is presented biennially to Jamaicans living in the United Kingdom, the United States of America, and Canada. And these Jamaicans who have demonstrated active and significant service towards the development of their community of residents and the development of Jamaica. I now invite our Deputy High Commissioner, Mrs. Patrice Laird Grant, to do the citation for Mr. Llewellyn Graham, Bishop Llewellyn Graham.
The Governor General's Diaspora Achievement Awards 2021. Under 35 age group category in the United Kingdom. Bishop Llewellyn Graham is a renowned religious leader, social entrepreneur, public servant, and son of Somerset District in St. Thomas, Jamaica. He completed a bachelor's degree at the Middlesex University in 1985 and later earned a master's degree from the University of Wolverhampton in 2000 and Birmingham University in 2013. He has led the Church of God of Prophecy Jubilee Christian Center for over 23 years. At the prime of his career, Bishop Graham coordinated a range of social care services to residents of Wolverhampton in West Midlands, England. His passion and dedicated service are admired by many and well represented through his years of work within the African Caribbean community in the United Kingdom. As the Executive Director for the Wolverhampton African Caribbean Development Agency, Bishop Graham has led advocacy and training sessions while offering development advice to the organization's membership of Black-owned businesses, voluntary organizations, and churches. By 1989, Bishop Graham became the Chief Executive Officer for the Nehemiah United Churches Housing Association, an organization which provides affordable housing to members of the African Caribbean communities in Birmingham, Coventry, Dudley, Sandwell, Walsall, and Wolverhampton. Under his leadership, the organization has raised over £37 million in private financing. In 1997, the organization received the Gleaner Honor Award and the Jamaican National Group Honor Award. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Bishop Graham led a dedicated team of frontline workers in the delivery of exemplary service to some of the most vulnerable members of the Jamaican diaspora community. With over 35 years of dedicated service to underserved communities and the Jamaican diaspora, Bishop Llewellyn Graham has built a strong legacy of quality service above self. Bishop Llewellyn Graham, it is with great pleasure that you are presented with the 2021 Governor General's Diaspora Achievement Award for the United Kingdom in the over 35 age group category.
If I may just say a very quick word. Yesterday, His Excellency, the Governor General of Jamaica, hosted a meeting of the various recipients of the Governor General's Award, along with the High Commissioners of Canada, the United Kingdom, and Jamaica's ambassador to the United States. And it was just a wonderful thing. He had a very personal chat with, the recipients and ourselves, but it was a kind of a fireside chat. It was such a warm, evening. And I mentioned to him that I would mention this because I would say that the presentation of this award began yesterday when we did that. So it's a pleasure to do this now.
Our next award will be presented to Mr. Amani Simpson, and I invite Mrs. Claudette Barrett Francis to make the citation.
The Governor General's Diaspora Achievement Awards 2021 for the under 35 age group category. Amani Simpson. Mr. Amani Simpson has inherited and exemplifies resilience and determination of the Jamaican people. He is an award-winning creative director, entrepreneur, and youth coach who uses his unique and inspiring story to reach audiences who are often underserved youth. In 2011, Mr. Simpson was stabbed 7 times. This near-death experience changed his life completely and gave rise to his advocacy and renewed sense of faith and spirituality. To share this experience, he produced a short film in 2019 called Amani. The film has since received almost 4 million views on YouTube and has propelled his work as a youth speaker across the United Kingdom. Mr. Simpson's partnership with the Mayor of London on an anti-crime campaign and his undeniable creativity has made him an influencer. In 2020, he used his leverage to spread hope and encouragement through an online campaign called Our Lockdown. The campaign was designed to support young people affected by difficult circumstances, which have been further heightened by the COVID-19 pandemic. Many speak of Mr. Simpson's humility and his unwavering willingness to reach and guide young people. His story of triumph over adversity is an echo in the bones of those with similar experiences and a guiding light for those most vulnerable. Mr. Amani Simpson, it's with great pleasure that you are presented with the 2021 Governor General's Diaspora Achievement Award for the United Kingdom in the under 35 age category.
May I invite all our awardees to stand and so that we could recognize you once more, all together. And just to congratulate you all also on all the members of the Jamaican diaspora in the UK. Alex Wheatle is a British novelist of Jamaican origin whose books have received a number of awards. He will be reading excerpts of his latest novel, Cane Warriors, which is based on the true story of Taki's revolt in Jamaica in 1760. The novel centers on the teenage Moa and the challenging decisions he must make as a cane warrior, fighting for the freedom of all the enslaved people in the nearby plantations in the parish of St. Mary. Taki's War was the most significant slave revolt in the British Empire until the Sam Sharp Rebellion the following century. Cane Warriors is the first novel to be written about the significant historical event. Mr. Wheatle's first novel, Brixton Rock, was published to critical acclaim by Black Amber Books in 1999. That year, Brixton Rock received the London Arts Board New Writers Award. In 2016, Mr. Wheatle won the Guardian's Children's Fiction Award for Crompton Nights, and in 2017, the Renaissance Quiz Writers' Choice Awards. In 2020, Mr. Wheatle was shortlisted for the NSK Nordstat Prize for Children's Literature. He has taken inspiration from a number of outstanding writers, including C.L.R. James, James Baldwin, Maya Angelou, Charles Dickens, Toni Morrison, Linton Kwesi Johnson, and John Steinbeck. Born in 1963, Mr. Wheatle is a big fan of reggae. He was a founder member of the Crucial Rocker sound system in his mid-teens. He wrote lyrics for performances in community halls, youth clubs, house parties, and blues dances. In 2008, Mr. Wheatle was awarded the Member of the British Empire Award for services to literature. We invite Mr. Wheatle to read.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's lovely to be with you. And if Mr. David Rodigan is still in the house, I salute you, sir, because I cannot tell you how many times I listen to your Capital Radio show on a Saturday night before I head out to a dance. So I salute you, sir. Also, I'd very much like to know where I can buy one of those lovely Jamaican ties. So hopefully someone can advise me on that. Just a little bit about the inspiration for Cane Warriors. I did not grow up with my mother. She was born in Richmond, in a small town in St. Mary. And when I reconnected with her, I wanted to know about her childhood. And she remembers very well when she was a very young girl, about 5 or 6 years old, that the elders would sometimes speak about Chief Tacky and the Easter slave revolt in 1760. It was like a old history handed down to young people. And so I went off in my research and I discovered this incredible story about the slave revolt that Chief Tacky led. And I also found it very interesting to discover what could that experience be like for teenagers who maybe had to take part or not take part. And so that is what inspires Cane Warriors. So I'll be reading an excerpt from this when they're about to start this revolt. And the chief protagonist is Moa. And Mr. Rodigan will probably know who that was inspired by, Moa Ambassa, the sound system that was one of my favorite back in the day. And so I start. Easter Sunday, an orange sun dropped to the west. I gazed at the rich green of the land. Much in the valleys was now cast in shadow. I hadn't slept at all last night. The insides of my stomach had tossed and churned since I picked up my billhook for work. Keverton and I had cut as much cane as I could remember on this day. There were moments I just wanted to stop work and take my rest. Everything ate. Mr. Donaldson went by on his donkey as the sun began to dip and nodded his appreciation. My blood seemed to bubble inside of me as he did so. I remembered my recent whipping. It wasn't the pain I recalled, but the sound his back whipper made. Crack pum, crack pum, crack pum. I couldn't even glance at his boots, let alone his face. His beast looked well tired. At least it didn't have blood ridges upon its back. Miss Floria had served us chicken wing and a bigger portion of cornmeal than usual for our midday meal. I threw most of it up a little later. Keverton observed the skies. It's soon time, Moa. I hope the sun will get stuck in the sky. Yes, me know, I replied. Let me wait till they come and pick up the cane. Moments later, Homaya arrived with her wonky handcart. We helped her load it. She offered Keverton a smile, but not me. Guilt lashed my insides. They will soon come for me, Moa. Why you not want to talk to me when you come up? She asked me. I guess she was really asking me why I hadn't asked her to join the revolt. Me never had the time, I replied. If Mr. Penston catch me up close to the big house, then me back will get ripped again for true. And he wouldn't make you watch it. Hamaya looked like she was deciding on my punishment, but eventually she grinned at me. When you come up next time, make sure you talk to me. Remember, you're the big brother we never have. A sudden sadness shadowed her face. She had lost her parents when she was very young. There will be a next time, Moa. It took me a long moment to answer. Yes, there will be a next time, I promise. Don't worry your little self about that. If something happened, will you take me with you? I didn't want her to ask me this, but she did. Nothing happening, Homaya, I lied. She fixed me with a hard stare. You sure? Me sure, I replied. When she set off, she turned to us and said, May Aminlawa bless your good foot. I remember Miss Pam teaching us about Aminlawa. She was a goddess of rivers. We watched her in silence as she struggled up the hill on the way to the mill house. I wondered if Papa was about his work or if he would walk up to the big house to reveal our Brockout plan. When Hermione disappeared from view, I searched Keverton's eyes. I wanted to see courage in them. Are you ready? I asked. Kevinton gripped his billhook. Yes, we're well ready, he replied. Your hand strong? Yes, we think so, I said, but we shaky inside. That no matter, Kevinton said. Just keep the shaky inside your belly, as long as your foot and arm strong. Your back strong like the blue maple tree fighting the wind, I said to Kevinton. And your hand grip like the link of iron around your new slave foot. Me glad me with you. I'm happy to be with you, Kevinton replied. No worry, Mora. We will finish our job. Me been thinking, I said. Say we rush in Mr. Donaldson place and him not there. He might be up by the big house. He'll be there, replied Kevinton. Him be up at the big house in the morning for Easter breakfast or to pray to their Jesus. Now he back and always taking him rest when the sun's sinking. Then he gets up at night time looking for mud, key and water. The shadows lengthened. Miss Gloria's food station was a few hundred yards up the dirt track. Today, it seemed, 1,000,000 miles away. Come on, Kevinton said. First thing we have to do is eat some food and drink a little water. Carrying our billhooks, we dragged one foot after another to Miss Gloria's serving counter. I guess Kevinton was just as tired as I was. When we arrived, we dropped our tools into the deep water pot. Other slaves watched us in silence as they licked their dishes and drank their water. Miss Gloria served us more chicken wing and chicken claw with cornmeal. She didn't utter a word, but she looked up and smiled at us for a short second. We made our way to the shelter of a favorite guango tree to eat our meal. Kevinton fixed his gaze on Mr. Donaldson's hut, about 30 strides behind the open-air canteen. It had 4 wooden steps leading up to the front door and a wide veranda with 2 chairs sitting on it. The roof provided generous shelter for anyone who took their rest there. The windows were covered by white cloth. He had his own vegetable plot and pit toilet out back. We hope he's in there, said Kevinton. Me too, I replied, but me hope that he's sleeping even more. I licked my wooden bowl clean. Kevinton drained the last drop of his water. He stood up first. Come more, he said. The sun's taking its dip. We dropped our bowls and mugs in a wooden box. Miss Gloria didn't meet our eyes. Fireflies hovered over her cooking pot. We collected our billhooks from the water tub. I sensed all eyes on me. I glanced up and down the dirt track. The western hills were now crowned with an amber glow. My heart pounded like old Mr. Cliff's hammer when he was fixing a large wheel. I shared a now or never look with Kevinton. He nodded. The small creatures in the field had already started their nighttime arguments. I gripped the handle on my knife so tight that redness appeared under my nails. Homea had stopped putting her handcart on the way to the mill house and watched us. I felt her eyes burning into me. They would soon come for me more. It might be tonight they would drag her out of her cabin. If she refused, they would take it anyway. I didn't want to fail her. My heart started to beat a warrior drum song. I prayed that the sky god Naomi would guide me. Pitney stopped playing. Say, I whispered to Kevinton, say the door bolted. Bolted. We have to kick it down. And then Kevinton dashed towards Mr. Donaldson's hut. I soon caught up with him. If my heart could have run, it would have reached the cabin first. We both kicked the door down. Dust flew up in my eyes. I blinked furiously. Mr. Donaldson was taking his rest on his bed. He only wore his pants. His chest and feet were bare. His back ripper was on a table beside him, next to an open Bible and a wooden cup. He shot up quickly, not quite believing that he was being confronted by 2 field slaves armed with billhooks. He went for his back ripper. Kevinton hesitated. His weapon trembled in his right hand. I didn't want to see Kevinton whipped again. I didn't want Mr. Massa to force me to view his broken body. I couldn't bear it to dig Kevinton's pit. I didn't want to see him dangling from a thick branch. Fear left me. Naomi was with me. I charged towards my tormentor. The whip crack was loud. He caught me on the neck and the pain was deep and intense. It didn't stop me. Use both hands, Louis had advised. Dig deep, twist. Make sure you don't breathe another dirty breath. My aim was true, just above his left nipple. My blade went in easier than I had imagined it. I turned the blade. He didn't scream. He just let out his long, final breath. It was quite something, watching the last moments of a dying man. He'd never enjoy a mug of rum again. No slave would ever feel the sting of his back whipper. He'd never molest another Hermea again. He'd never marvel once more at the red sun dipping beyond the western hills. I pulled my weapon out. He fell to the floor, as did the Bible. As I stood still, not believing what I had just done, Kevinton leaped on Mr. Donaldson and plunged his bullet into his back 5 times. The wooden floor turned red, staining the book. Some tiny ants scarpered. Some got drowned in the blood. My heart thumped my ribcage. Kevinton and I shared a look. We heard screams and cries from outside. I pulled back the white cloth from the window. People ran here and there. All was chaos. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alex. And we are going to continue here now with the excellence of Jamaicans in the diaspora as we invite Miss Evelyn Chronicle to perform. And Evelyn, bear with me, Evelyn Chronicle is a trained actress and a seasoned dynamic performer, storyteller, and workshop leader. She studied at the Edna Manley School of Performing Arts and is knowledgeable and experienced in Jamaican folklore. The Gleaner has described Evelyn as the new Miss Lou, a title she's proud of as it gives her a platform to not only perform, but to keep our traditional arts alive. Her repertoire includes Jamaican dialect poems and Nancy stories, folk songs, and dub poetry. Welcome, Evelyn Chronicle.
I think that was a useful introduction, so I need to say no more. You just relax, enjoy yourself. You're going to have audience participation. Is that all right? Yeah. Good. So the first piece I want to do is called the Jamaican language. Listen up. Miss Lou Auntie Roach, she said, Ibexa. And while I take off it through, anytime you hear anybody classing the Jamaican language as a corruption of the English language. But if that be the case, they would have to say that English is a corruption of the Norman French, the Latin, and all them other languages that they say English derived from. Who look hear the word? English derived. But Jamaica, oh, what unfairity, eh? They want me to use the mic. You should use the mic? Let me use the mic. Anyway, listen up. Miss Lou Auntie Roach said that if the Jamaican language is a corruption of the English language, then it is also a corruption of our African Tree language too. You hear how it sounds nice? Tree. Yes, you see? Because the Jamaica language did start long time ago when our English forefathers used to muss and bone with African ancestors to stop talk for them language and talk so English. Because you see, our English forefathers couldn't understand what we African ancestors was saying when they was attacked to them one another. But we African forefathers pop we English forefathers, man. You know, pop them. You know, trick them up and disguise up the language in such a way as to project for them own African language. And still and for all, up till today, the talking is so Jamaican. And when we ready, we can make it sound like you know got no English night at all. And also, so English talking smarty can't understand what we are saying if we don't want them to understand what we are saying. And if you get that one day, you're good. You're a real Jamaican. Yes, man. Miss Lou Auntie Roach is here. The Jamaican language is a bona fide language, and we don't have to shame it at all. It more direct and to the point than English language. You take, for instance, when an English smarty would say you when them a talk to one smarty. And you when them a talk to more than one smarty. In a Jamaica, we don't want the mix up, you see? So when we are talk to one smarty, we say you. And when we are talk to more than one smarty, we say oh, you hear how it nice. Hey, sir. Listen up. And sometime again, when the English would say bad, worse, worst. Listen now, in a Jamaica, we don't want bite up for we talk, you see? So we say bad, worse. What? Yes, man. And when the same thing was than worse, we say what? Wasara. Yes, man. So you see, the Jamaican language nice. Sometimes, we mix up the word, them, man, and put them together to sound like whatsoever we are talking about. Take, for instance, when we say something, buguyaga. You know say no nice. Them no nice. And we not like them and they not turn good. You know? But when we say smarty boo no news, hey, you hear how it's so nice. We know say nice. And we like them. Sometimes, we put the word them together. We mix it up and we blend it up, man. Like how we say, something, ruku ruku. Hey, say it is shaky, shaky. Yeah, when something kuru kuru up. We mark up. Fenke. Pia. Wishy-washy. Hey, Jamaican language sweet, not ill. Not true. And we not have a shame of it at all. Like some bossy girl when they come to England long time ago, and them ask her to represent the Jamaican folk song. The one that go, one shift me got. You know that? One shift me got, ratakot teeth. You know the one? Yes, ma. Come on, ma. Listen now, hear the fool girl. The sole underwear garment I possess. Erodents destroy it. Fool girl, man. I love Jamaican language. Aye. Thank you. All right. Okay. So they say I'm a Jamaican folklorist. I'm proud of my folklore. And we had our lovely drummers. And I want to just do a quick little Jamaican folk song. Me catch me breath a bit, poor Lizzie Jane. You know that? Poor Lizzie Jane should have married long ago. But her daddy never liked Mr. Joe. Him see my walk one day with him head hold on a ground and him clothes like they hang up on one nail. So him call her one morning right in front of Mr. Joe. The day before the wedding should I keep. He warn her, be careful, y'all not turn yourself a fool. Lego Joe make him go along with him ring. If you follow that old man, you never married. If you follow that old man, you never marry. Mr. Joe body train and left Lizzie Jean. And so she puff, and so she holler, and so she bow. The following Sunday morning when the bells begin to ring and the people gather joyfully to see, them never see such a thing in their life. Just no wedding, but no husband nor no wife. If you follow that old man, you never marry. If you follow that old man, you never marry. Mr. Joe body train and left Lizzie Jean. And so she puff, and so she holler, and so she bow. Okay, so my time here is, thank you. My time here is short, but I would not be doing my job unless I didn't do Miss Steven's favorite Anansi story. All right, so we're going to do a quick Anansi story. Brother Nancy, Oh yes, man, trick if I can done. And like the nice ladies, you know. Oh yes, man. So this one is called a Nancy, Jackass, and Paul. Once upon a time, there was a very fine fault and pick and choosing gal. Every man that come to marry to her, she say, they ain't too short, or they ain't too tall, they head too maga, they head too big, they ain't got rum bump on them throat, or something another, but she always a fine fault. Anywhere. And Nancy hear about this girl no. And him decide say, he must get her for married. So one day, man, and Nancy dress up himself, proud not to push back foot. Hey, you ever see push back drag them back foot? Hey, that was brother Nancy. Proud not to push back foot. Walks into the gal yard and announce himself. Mish, Misha, Aula, mighty punky for, okay. You remember Nancy have a little dog. You know, Mish, Misha, Aula, mighty punky for, okay. I'd like to marry you. Well, sir, the girl did have a witch brother where did know say Nancy is not a good man. And he whispered to him sister and say, he's not a good man, you know. It's a Nancy. Ha! From the name of Nancy could have dropped some bops. She and her brother grab a piece of stick and then beat Nancy and kick him out in the yard. Oh my God. As Nancy could have dropped in the yard, so who him could have see a pass. No, bro, jackass. Here, jackass, no. Here, Nancy. You laugh at brother jackass. Here, jackass. Sure, Nancy, you're too ambitious. Think that a girl like that would want you to marry. Nancy never liked the way Jackass laugh after him, you know? So him study up in brain, man. Him study up in brain to see how him could have trick brother Jackass. Here and Nancy know we didn't trick him himself. You know what you're saying is really true, brother Jackass. No, me could have never stand a chance with a girl like that, Sha. But no, you, Sha, who is a nice and handsome, distinguishable gentleman. Oh yes, it would have been different with you. Compliment gone to brother Jackass' head. Here, Jackass, no. You really think so, brother Nancy? Here, Nancy. Oh, yes, man. Go on, brother Jackass. You can't lose. Hey, sir. Jackass him now go. And him dress up for himself. Proud not to. Yes, man. Walk into the girl yard. And this time, you know, her witch brother never did it. And the girl see how Jackass looks so nice and handsome, you know. Oh, yes, with him face so long and everything, and them teeth, them just a kid. Oh, yes, man. She decides she got married off to Jackass. Well, sir, after the wedding, Jackass carried the girl going stable. Well, him never got no better house to carry the girl too. You know, and with him rough Jackass ways, he start to kick out by the girl in the stable. Lord, and him start sing a song, say, ha, 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 Downiwa. How you yeah, been gone, Downiwa. Handsome man, you want Downiwa. Handsome man, you get Downiwa. And the poor girl, Downiwa, Jacka bite me, oh, Downiwa. Jacka kick me, oh, Downiwa. Ha, Downiwa. How you yeah, been gone, Downiwa. Handsome man, you want Downiwa. Handsome man, you get down. Locks. The Jackass did a maltreat the poor girl. But our brother Downiwa hear the bawling and run go to Jackass table. And when him see what happened, he grab a piece of rope, he tight around Jackass' neck and carry Jackass straight to the pound. You know, like how them carry straight dog go a pound? In those days, they used to carry Jackass go a pound. And you see, any woman who pick and choose the man too much, always choose a Jackass in the end. It's a Nancy make it. Jack Mandora, me not choose none. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Evelyn. Ladies and gentlemen, you see that I'm correct when I say excellence abounds. Dwight Johns is a 25-year-old third-generation Jamaican. He has been involved in music from a young age, and it has allowed him to perform across the world. He's a music teacher, and his primary instruments are the piano and the organ. I now invite Mr. Dwight Johns to lead us in the national anthem. Please be upstanding for the national anthem of Jamaica. Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you very much, Dwight. And the organ, by the way, is over 100 years old, but the High Commission keeps it well tuned. At this point, I wish to thank Your Excellency, our High Commissioner, and may I recognize Dr. Lola Ramakan, our Deputy High Commissioner, staff of the High Commission. I just want us to thank them very much because the High Commission doesn't have producers and people who put things together. It's a staff that do everything. And they do a fantastic job. I'm sure you're agree with us. I want to again congratulate all our awardees and to thank them and members of their family and friends for traveling for this important ceremony. Mayor of Haringey, Councillor Jogi, Mr. Alex Wheatle, Coromantee Band, our own Evelyn Chronicle, and again, Mr. Dwight John. All persons who joined us virtually, and I wish also to thank Theo, head of the technical team today, for making that possible. Jamaica, land we love, and land we will continue to love. And all the important things about our land that we will pass on to our children, our grandchildren, and generations to come. So I wish for everyone a happy Independence Day tomorrow. Thank you all for coming, and safe travel, those of you who have to travel. Thank you.